Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 26th of August 2023. Letby jailed. India prevails where Putin's rocket failed. Prigozhin's life curtailed to end a tale of betrayal. Trump rails as he visits jail and gets bail, but is not derailed from the campaign trail. Women's World Cup is hailed for its scale and what it entails, but the Lionesses fail to achieve their Holy Grail. In the courtroom hearts bled and tears jerked, while below in a cell the perpetrator lurked. The baby killer felt she couldn't face the music. The system let Letby be a coward. She used it. While impact statements from the parents were heard, Lucy Letby refused to hear a single word, but her decision to excuse herself from attendance could not change the length of her sentence. A whole life for each life she terminated. From now until death she'll be incarcerated. And now there's to be a government inquiry into how Letby continued her killing spree. How the executive let her kill and harm long after paediatricians had raised the alarm. One thing that the inquiry may never find is what on earth went on inside Letby's mind. Was it a God complex or a Satan obsession that caused her to kill infants in her possession? On Wednesday, India's moonshot hit the mark. Its probe landed on the side of the moon referred to as dark. It isn't actually dark, it's just the side we can't see, and so for many astronomers it's a great mystery. Chandrayaan-3 alighted at this new destiny, putting India into the pages of modern space history. And reaching the place immortalised by Pink Floyd must have made the Kremlin coward somewhat annoyed. Just 3 days earlier the Russians had tried, but Luna 25 crashed into the dark side. Another crater in the moon was all Putin achieved. Perhaps the craft's AI mistook a moon rock for Kiev. Slamming a probe into the moon no doubt wasn't meant, but a plane crash on Wednesday seemed to be caused by intent. In the Tver region of Russia, a private jet crashed. All 10 on board were instantly trashed. A plane doesn't fall out of the sky without reason, especially when on board is a guy called out for treason. The Wagner leader, Prigozhin, was on the ill-fated plane. Most people were quick to conclude who was to blame. Experts also felt the list of suspects was short. Put in a name at the top and there's no second thought. For weeks, Prigozhin's whereabouts hasn't been clear. On the odd social media clip he would appear. A bit like a Russian version of Where's Wally. To think he'd live after doing what he did was just folly. Recently, with dark humour for which he's not noted, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken was quoted. NATO has an open door policy, he said, while Russia has an open window policy instead. Whether by poison, plane crash or defenestration, the Kremlin will say it's for the defence of the nation. Nothing to do with an insecure dictator eliminating an old mucker turned traitor. With a macabre timing to slay an adversary exactly on the 2-month anniversary of Prigozhin's aborted march on Moscow, from that moment Putin must have thought he must go. But while we shouldn't be under any illusion, we also shouldn't jump to conclusions. The story was first reported by TASS. Russia's truth, as we know, is often just trash. While Hunt and Sunak tried to suppress inflation, the opposite plagues Keegan in education. Last week it was A-levels, this week GCSEs, with students searching for wood amongst the trees. In a clumsy attempt to provide consolation to those suffering the effects of grade deflation, the Education Secretary downplayed the pressure, telling students the exams were a short-term measure. For those whose grades were close to the bottom, she assured them in 10 years it would all be forgotten. In 2020, Gavin Williamson came a cropper. His fiddling with teacher grades was considered improper. The problem we have now post-COVID, he predicted, but his dodgy algorithm had him evicted. Outside family and friends, Gavin's fans aren't many, but maybe his thoughts right now are worth a penny. On Wednesday, the Republican debate in Milwaukee had 8 hopefuls on stage, but what was more key was the elephant in the room who was not in the room. Trump had better things to do with his time, we presume. Simultaneously, X was showing a Trump interview pre-recorded with Tucker Carlson, once of Fox News. Next day, Trump's mugshot was everywhere with a defiant pose and a scowling stare. He'd been arrested at Fulton County Jail, then released on $200,000 bail. Trying to change the Georgia vote count is the claim. The mugshot now the emblem of Trump's election campaign. Jet-setters and holiday makers were pleased, no doubt, that Gatwick baggage handlers chose not to walk out. An 11th hour deal saved the bank holiday for all those sun-seekers wanting to get away. The NHS consultants, on the other hand, went ahead with their 48-hour strike as planned. Through the tournament they purred but rarely roared, and in the final on Sunday only Spain scored. The Lionesses lost the World Cup final 1-0. England's only soccer World Cup is 66 still. But this was the best England women's team there's been in the best women's World Cup we've ever seen. The event in the Antipodes was a massive gig. The crowds for women's soccer were never so big. This is a sport now that both sexes equally dig.